On this episode of Beer Blues BS, I'm doing a unique paint challenge. That's right, I'm back to painting, and I'm doing something different. The guys are helping me out, and one could argue that it's, I'm taking a risk in my own hands. But it's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time with it. Besides that, we'll be talking about what seems to be large wave of death that is going through the celebrity community, as a lot of the icons that we've grown up with it just passed away. It's been kind of a tragic week in that regard. Other than that, I'm going to talk about old movies and such as I go down that nostalgia trip. And Kidder's got some strong thoughts about the world of podcasting. So buckle up. This is a good time. You're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, pull up a seat, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that asks, what you gonna do, brother, when we go running wild all over you? I am your host, the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Now you listen here, Jack Howard. I don't know who you are, where you came from, or what you think you're gonna do, brother, but these colors, red, white, and blue, America's gonna go Jim Duggan all over you. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Jim Duggan's still alive, just for the record.
Yes, he is.
He's got wood, I hear.
Yeah. So
hardwood. I'm good. You know, it's been an interesting week in the celebrity world of everything because everybody dies. So there's that. So we're gonna have to start drinking soon, but we can't do it just yet.
That's right. Because we have a guest. That's right. Why did I say that's
a loose term?
Yeah. Anyway, joining us once again from that undisclosed bunker somewhere in the world, it's none other than Big D. Big D, how you doing this morning?
Would one consider Krabs a guest? I don't know. He's the Krabs of internet podcasts.
Nah, you don't have that act for that, Kidder. That's my thing.
I don't know. Let's throw down in the comments.
It's got to be a pair. It doesn't make sense. Good morning, gentlemen.
Two crabs. Whatever you want, man. It's your STD. Correct discovery. Well, for the record, STD.
Nice. Yeah, doing all right. Little toasty. Pretty sure, of course, just griping about how damn hot it is over here. 117, 118 for the majority of the past 2 weeks. Dew points north of 75. We hit a max of 86. It was straight miserable. Because this is a family show, I will not discuss the artistic rendering or the other stuff we were chatting about in the prior to starting. But always good once again to be back with the. This is going to be cliche, but of course it's apropos. Always good to be back with the big boot and the leg drop of internet podcasting.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Well, Kidder has hinted at the fact that we should probably get to drinking right away, so we have plenty of time for all the things we want to talk about on this show. So, gentlemen, let's move right into everybody's favorite segment: What's on Tap? Big D, what you having this fine morning?
Well, it's a shame JS isn't here because I'm sure he would appreciate this, but I got some Black Rifle coffee in my cup. This is Silencer Smooth, hence why JS would probably appreciate it. Bunch of random drawings and stuff. 100% copy. This light roast is perfect for the quiet professional, so what the hell am I doing with it? The precise roasting specifications bring out the sweet aroma, citrus notes, and a crisp finish. I don't know what anyone says. I can never taste any citrus notes or crisp finish in any coffee. Still got that pumpkin stuff from last week, and that's about the only time I can taste anything in coffee. I stand corrected. I can kind of taste that citrus. Mast has a sharp initial taste, but yeah, not too bad. I'm going to give that a 3.8.
He laced his coffee with an IPA.
And the letters I, P, and A do appear on this thing somewhere in here. So I can live vicariously through that.
Yeah. Yeah. And kicking down the tavern door just as we're in the middle of what's on tap. So I'm just going to throw it over and let him share what he's drinking as well. But the Doc is joining us. Doc, how's it going this night and what you having?
Doing well. Nice end to yet another long week. I'm starting off tonight with just a Long Island iced tea. I can't tell you exactly what was used to make it because it was made by a housemate, but...
Uh-oh.
It's good, strong, which I should have expected.
Uh-oh.
And that's why that was the hence the uh-oh. Yes, yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Good time.
The Doc is going to get messed up by the time we get to our first topic. Yeah, that's all right. We deserve it because it's good. It's good times. What are you having, Howie Blues?
Oh, I was going to let you go. You seem like somebody who could use a beverage.
Yeah. Okay.
A standoff of wills has begun.
And while you're doing that, I'll give you a little ASMR to help you out.
Except for Google
joke
tends to censor all of the ASMR.
Joke was on you because it went, oh no, not this again, and then just deleted the audio. So go on. You have your ASMR.
Maybe it's a metaphor for something. I don't know. What you drinking, kidder?
I was going to say something. I don't know if it was the same words that you were going to say.
No, I was talking about a metaphor for clearly it's been a week for you gentlemen, and I was trying to help out, but then that went right out the door. So that's the metaphor. Things falling right out from underneath you.
I don't
what are you thinking about?
I'll say it.
I'm
Ass to
don't answer
mouth
that.
and repeat. It's ASMR. There you go. Hopefully this is not ass. Shiner bringing you a raspberry lemonade shandy, seasonal 4.2% alcohol by volume. It's got the raspberries all over it with a giant lemon, 12 fluid ounces of liquid in here. It is beer that is brewed with agave and with lemon and with natural flavors because nobody believes in an Oxford comma.
Shame.
Brewed in Shiner, Texas. You can send them hate mail at Spatesville Brewery, Shiner, Texas, 77984, maybe. They're part of the Brewers Association government warning about not having fun. And it's a seasonal. Put this into trusty Yeti! A very heavy raspberry right off the top, which is nice to have that sweet scent. And of course, if you're drinking a raspberry beverage, I would hope that there would be a lot of raspberry flavor or scent. Taking a drink, you get like this smooth lemon and then some raspberry flavor on the top. I hope Howard enjoys this because it is more refreshing than what he's about to lay an egg on. I could drink a few of these if we were doing this outside earlier today or perhaps tomorrow. but being inside and didn't pregame, 3.1842.
Nice.
What are you having?
I'm having one thing and then probably some other things, and I'll explain why after the first thing. But I am having from the Blake's Hard Cider Co. I'm having their triple jam, which is strawberry, blackberry, and raspberry. That's a cider. It is 6.5% alcohol by volume. It is gluten-free. It contains alcohol. So just so you know, it contains alcohol. This is right here on the can. They say it's jam-packed, very refreshing, cider with a story. They didn't include that story on the can. And then they put this little kind of bar graph up here between dry and sweet. And it's supposed to be more sweet than dry.
I'd hope so. It's only a bit dry.
So it's got a very berry smell.
Can you taste all three of the berries?
I can, actually. They kind of come in like an interesting follow through. It's like starts with like the sour of a raspberry, moves into a blackberry, and then finishes with the strawberry. It's kind of weird, but not terrible. Not terrible. I give this about a 3.2. So not a terrible rating. But I don't know, not my favorite cider that I've ever had. So
is it like a cider where all of the cider berries turned into cars and then drove over your tongue?
Well, I mean, that is what the art on the can does suggest.
Just curious.
So and note, it like the order of the cars was the same as the order that I described it in. That starts with raspberry, blackberry. Yeah.
I do have to say that kind of looks like a traffic jam.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're just like aiming for us to go right into dad jokes of the week.
You might as well spread them on.
I would, except I left the book over there.
Dang it. Well, that's too bad.
Before, I know you have a topic that is just burning a hole to be talked about, Kidder, but I'm going to hop in because I need something from Doc with this. So Doc, start thinking about a color, any color, but I want kind of a specific shade. Here's what I'm going to be doing tonight, gentlemen, as we talk. I have a model that I selected to paint tonight. My family is gone to the lake cabin themselves. I'm on a hobby weekend. I'm going to be painting this lovely model that was produced by Reaper Miniatures as it was made to kind of provide some financial support when there was the fires over in Hawaii. So I'm going to work on painting it. But to make this more of a challenge, I've been asking everybody kind of associated with the show, along with my kids, to give me a color. And I have a collection of colors here, and I'm going to play a little game with this. I'm going to try and use predominantly these colors. So whatever colors I get, that's what I have to use. If I decide to break that rule and use a different color, because maybe there's something I need that nobody selected. If I do that, I have to take a penalty shot from the classic if you know beverages that I have off to my side, which I have added 3 new ones just to make Local Geeks' life a little bit more miserable. So I am missing some very important colors for painting a turtle. So I'm hoping Doc is going to be kind and give me a good color.
You should have had him get the color before you describe the object like the rest of us. Now, he could do one of 2 things. 1, he could be nice. Or 2, he wouldn't have gotten away with it if it weren't for those meddling kids.
I had already picked my color, so.
Oh, okay.
And I'll just stick with what I was going to pick, even though now I know I picked it back at the beginning.
So what are you giving me?
Cobalt blue, or as close to that as you can get.
Cobalt blue. Okay. That is slightly helpful, but not probably.
Doesn't quite get you. I know.
Well,
What, a Donatello bandana? Is that
so about
is that
like
the right turtle? I don't know.
about like that.
Like a little deeper, a little darker.
A little darker. Okay. I have darker. Just gotta move some things. And knock over some things. It should be. Mix them up. That's not darker. No. Anyway, yeah. So I am missing some very important fun colors like white or green. That's my lighting is going to make that look way more teal than that really is.
Yeah.
So,
Now when you turned it like that, yeah, that's close enough. Yeah.
okay.
Perfect.
So, okay, I have like 2 dark blues, a brown, 2 pinks, a purple, a Malort yellow from Local Geek, and pure black from Kidder.
You're welcome.
So, no greens, no whites. There'll be some shots.
I almost got you green.
What was that?
I almost got you green.
Yeah, my son was close, but what he wanted to do, and this is I'll have to admit, he wanted, and he got this specific. He gave me an orange and a green, but I have to mix them to make a brown. I'm not allowed to use them as separate. So, that'll be interesting. I don't have a gray for stone. Yeah, there will be some drinking for sure. But with that, that's what I'll be doing. Kidder, take it away with your topic.
Well, first, we touched on it a little bit, but of course, the passing of first Ozzy Osbourne earlier this week as somewhat of a blow to the music world. And I say music as its overall sense because Ozzy had a lot of impact through the decades in every genre of music, whether people want to admit it or not. So rest in peace. I guess the bat was waiting for him on the other side of the pearly gates to kick his ass. And then, of course, the obvious Hulkamania, Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan himself, passing away from apparently a massive heart attack, but also more in depth with that is since he had a procedure in May, he's been essentially 1 foot in the grave. And so it was a very terrible slow roll into the grave, into death for the Hulkster. Apparently he had been intubated since the end of May. And so, I mean, that's pretty terrible for a guy who had such a huge impact on the entertainment and wrestling world and run wild. And then there's been several artists who have passed away, several actors, including the co-founder of Golden Earring, a famous jazz musician, and an actor from The Cosby Show. So it's been quite the week of clearing house in the celebrity world, I guess. So maybe there is still room for this little show to get a little bit of a breakthrough and make a couple dollars.
You also forgot Chuck Mangione passed away as well.
Thank you. Skip my list. That I was referencing randomly off of photos and articles that I had just scrolled past.
Yeah, he did not get nearly as much coverage. He kind of passed in between the Hulk and Ozzy. So, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So, tribute to all of those people and any loved ones who you may have lost in your life as well. To the actual first topic that I had, I was approached by a coworker of mine, and the first thing, the question to me was more of a statement, I guess. Hey, come see me if you have a minute before you go. And my response was no. But I said, okay, what? He's like, I have a question for you. And I'm like, obviously, because you wanted to talk to me. What is it? And he goes, how would you recommend starting a podcast? And I said, don't. And he looked at me weird. And I'm like, I am serious. I know, as a co-host on a podcast that has been going for over 3.5 years with over 224 episodes of straight content plus extras, features, live videos, streaming, reviews, and other sub-channels. We are lucky to, have anybody actually see this out of the light of day. So, or see the light of day, even. Both. Scary. He's like, well, should I buy a bunch of equipment or what should I do? I'm like, you kind of missed the whole thing. I'm like, I bought this mic and boom set on Amazon for $40. The biggest thing that I got was the camera, which retails for $300, but was a Black Friday deal for like $120, just for good visibility. You probably don't want to spend a bunch of money. And on that, don't do a podcast, because then you have to do it daily, weekly, or monthly, and it has to be on time, and you have to put it out consistently. If you want to interview people, talk to people, have a good time, just do the videos and post it. Just have fun and do it, because otherwise it will be more of a job than what you would ever hope for. And then he's like, oh, you got to get like, you're probably just saying that because you're saying thousands of views. And I'm like, no. The sad truth is on our YouTube page, we've had 47,000 views since 2021. And that's all the content. At least that's what the page said. And I'm like, bro, you don't have to do me like that. You could at least make me feel better about this. But then I kind of broke it down of, look, everybody and everyone and everything has a show associated with it. It's out there somewhere. There's content for this. There's content for that. There's everything out there. And most of the podcasts, as we've talked about before, make it 1 to 5 episodes, and then they're done. So that's, kind of helpful for those of us who have been around for a while. But also, we don't have the celebrity star power of Logan Paul or insert movie star here. And so, since we don't have the money, the fame, or the illicit connections through Hollywood, our show does not get forced airplay anywhere.
Plus, there's some more that goes like into that. I don't know if you asked him, what type of podcast do you want to do?
Sounded like it was just talking to people, like interviews.
Yeah. The problem that you're going to run into with trying to do that is there's so many podcasts in that particular genre, and so many of them are celebrity filled. Everybody from Joe Rogan to I think David Spade had one. Conan O'Brien's got one. I mean, there's just Logan Paul. They all kind of have these interview style podcasts. You're not going to probably get past those, is one thing that I would say. The other thing I would also tell you with all of those, they have a whole production team behind them, so unless you really want to spend the time editing, and doing, getting it uploaded and all of that, there's a lot of work that goes into that side. Not that I'm trying to dissuade anybody from, hey, do a podcast. It's just a lot more work. It's not just, hey, we turn on the mics and here we go. So,
by the way, like, share, and subscribe, please.
Yeah. I mean,
also broke down the monetary aspect of, you're talking a minimum $150 per month just to get the stuff into the right places, plus hosting, plus features, plus anything else that you could imagine. And so you are talking thousands of dollars for a basic show per year.
Yeah. And yes, podcasts can make a lot of money if you can have the right topic. And there are some terrible podcasts out there. I listened to a couple. I tried out a few new ones during my last trip that were just terrible. Like the one just had random pauses for no reason. So it wasn't even like, hey, this is because it was a history podcast, and it was telling the story of a Pinkerton agent going undercover. And it was like it was doing dramatic pauses so that then there could be a commercial inserted, but there wasn't. It was just then a random 4 or 5 second pause. And the editor in me was like, just cut that part out. Nobody wants to listen to just dead air. If it hits that 4 to 5 second mark, most people are like, what happened to my show? Did it turn off? Also, he kept relying a lot on repeating the same kind of lines over and over again. And also with this Pinkerton agent being undercover, he kept switching back and forth between the cover name and the agent's name, to the part that I had to almost stop and really get my brain to wrap around. Hey, wait, who's he talking about? It wasn't good. But,
who's on first? What's on second?
Yeah. On a more brightful note, I need a gray. So anybody want to pick a number between 1 and 7?
We're not talking about number of shots you're about to do.
No. See, Big D, you've been gone for a while. We created this game, or at least I created this game called If You Know, You Know,
hey,
to mess with the local geek. And what it is I have 7 mystery bottles of liquor here, and you're going to call out a number, and I will have a random shot from one of those bottles. That's up to the local geek to figure out what they are. We've played this game twice so far, and eventually he's figured them all out. Although JS figured out one in the last
Pick
round.
a number between 1 and 7 so Howard can take a mystery shot.
I'll pick 4 for Howard's mystery shot.
I'll pick 4 for Howard's mystery shot.
Yeah, one of the new ones. So,
see how easy this is?
I mean, I am a little... Just to say, I'm a little sad JS isn't here, because JS loves to shout out numbers.
2!
Yeah. I may have tried to hide one of them. So
the bottle or the shot?
The bottle, because the one that he would definitely call out to make me suffer would, yeah. Anyway,
2.
Cheers.
Waiting for an if you know, you know.
Well, if you know, you know. That was an interesting one. And I clearly
like UV grape.
It's not.
Okay. Well, there you go, local geek. There's a freebie on me.
Yeah, it's not UV grape. Okay. Ooh, I now have a gray.
And
More
the
to come.
flavor was not that grape either.
No. It's also hard to judge based off that because as we saw earlier, Howard's camera kind of messes with colors just a little bit. So
Jaeger then. Jägermeister.
I will tell you this, Kidder.
Oh boy.
They are all schnapps, except for there is a bottle of whiskey mixed in.
Good thing you got a palate cleanser in there.
Yeah. Now I just got to hope you pick that number. So, I'm not ready for a new color yet, but there will be more.
2.
Because I'm also, as I'm looking at this, nobody gave me a metallic, and there are definitely metallic items on here. So,
Metallica? I give you black.
You didn't give me metallic black. You said, give me the darkest black I have.
Like your soul, yes.
So I went with pure black. I know it's not going to focus. Oh, there it is. Pure black.
Make sure you shake it well.
Yeah. I don't know how much I'm going to use. I'm going to hopefully use it to like shade some things. Like if I need a darker color, but people kind of gave me mostly dark colors. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting. A fun challenge.
Speaking of colors, Howard, did you get to see the new hockey jerseys for UND?
I did see them. I will admit I did not like closely analyze them. I just kind of went, oh, New Jerseys, and that was kind of that. But what did you think, Kidder?
It's kind of a 90s feel. Throwback to the 90s jersey style without the number in the center. I am happy because one of the players featured in the photo lineup is a Colorado Avalanche draft pick, or was drafted by the Avalanche. And so he'll be playing for UND. See how he does. Maybe get called up, do some good work at the pros. So then we can have more than one UND player playing for the Avs. That would be good. Overall, the Nodak one didn't really look new to me because they've used a couple variants over the past few years of that. And then the North Dakota, it's okay. It's basic.
Yeah. Apparently, Kidder, and maybe you can correct us if we're wrong, because when Big D chose his color for my little thing tonight, he chose UND pink as a color.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he tried to look up like the exact color, apparently it didn't like. Apparently UND has maybe dropped the pink.
Well, officially, since the school's inception in 1883, the official colors were Kelly green, white, and pink. Black was not an official color of the university since its inception, as the flicker tails. And Doc is shaking his head in affirmation of the knowledge as we're spitting the facts.
Because it was chosen as the colors of the prairie rose, which is the state flower. But pink just probably doesn't look that exciting on an athletic jersey. I don't know.
The only time I'd ever seen it used was the only time I'd ever seen pink used in the entire time that I can think of was for commencement ceremonies for master's students. The shawl that they had was pink. That's the only time I've ever seen it used.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. The hood for a graduate degree, because the inside of it represents the university. And so, yeah, it's white with the pink and green. I had my master's one over there somewhere, but yeah. but no
one?
black. There's no black. The three colors inside the hood are white, green, and pink.
So I am on the UND brand management. The interesting thing on here is they now have it specified differently than when we were there. First thing, they have the collegiate colors of UND green, no longer Kelly green, as the primary, which is a Pantone of 347. If you want to do the RGB, it's 0154 68 or a hex code of 009A44. And white. The accent colors listed under there are black and UND gray, which is a Pantone of 421, or an RGB of 174, 174, 174, or a hex code of AE, 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 in case you're doing the HTML. They have founding colors, which special use standards apply. UND green is the primary, which we talked about before, and then Prairie Rose pink for the secondary, with a Pantone of 1895, an RGB of 245, 182, and 205, and a hex of F5B6CD. They have the special use standards, which, as I go over to those, how to use founding colors. 1. The historic meaning of our founding colors is referenced to build awareness and provide education. References might include examples such as students' rosy prospects, the story of our founding colors, or nods to the prairie rose flower. 2. Each use of prairie rose pink has strategic meaning. Use examples include showing a prairie rose flower or using a pink heart when illustrating the I heart UND. Or the use of founding colors adheres to the usage percentage of prairie rose pink by audience. Which, external, anytime before a student, faculty, or staff orientation, 0. Internal transition, the school's period which an individual is introduced to the story of UND school colors, beginning at their orientation and concluding after homecoming week, 1 to 3%, and internal post-transitional, after an individual is familiar with the story of our school colors, defined as post-homecoming, 4 to 10% can be used in that pink. From 1889 is when the students officially chose green and pink as the school colors. And then flame orange for the flame in the UND logo only, which is a Pantone of 165.
There we go. I don't know why Big D couldn't find that information when he was looking it up, but
He probably doesn't know how to use the internet.
Enter what?
I don't know.
Do you even have that over there? Is there running water? I thought you guys lived in igloos.
Nah, not even a little bit.
The Pony Express coming through next week?
Camel Express, maybe.
I hear the steampunk train will be rolling by.
Oddly enough, I don't think there are any trains here, but whatever.
You could do.
I need more coffee. I'm going to go do that.
You could ride the train and ride it. Huh?
The crazy train?
You could ride that train. He is definitely acceptable on that train. I was thinking of the locomotion. Choo choo.
Yeah, it's
everybody
it's
can ride it.
It's interesting, Kidder, that we started this off talking about the deaths that happened, because interestingly enough, before both Ozzy and Hulk, I was talking to my son about both of them on different nights as we were getting ready for bed. I was one night humming
Sioux.
Yes. I think it was Crazy Train. No, it was Iron Man. I was doing the Iron Man, and we got to talk about who Ozzy was and other songs. And then we were talking about Hulk like the day before Hulk passed. So
And he's dead, Jim.
yeah, so just kind of an interesting coincidence. So I will try to refrain from talking about anybody else in the near future.
Didn't you just reference Big D?
Yeah, he's not a celebrity enough. He'll be fine.
Nobody cares who he is.
I'm a celebrity over here because I tell people how stinking hot it is, and I usually have to wear a helmet before doing so because I'm convinced that at one point they're just going to throw things at me.
I hear it's so hot over there that you saw a squirrel earlier dipping his nuts into the pool to cool off.
I've not seen a single squirrel here.
Okay. All right.
Let's see.
Camels?
Need a reference photo.
Seen a few camels.
D's nuts?
I have, on the topic of camels, I have tried ice cream here made with camel's milk. It was actually pretty tasty. Can recommend, but for the life of me, in the States, I don't know where you would find it.
Probably an utterly ridiculous place, but from a camel.
Now who's going on about dad jokes?
I still can't reach it.
That's Howard coming up short again.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I am I'm grabbing spectral white because I'm going to need a white. So hey, Big D, pick a number between 1 and 7.
Yeah. You've already done 4, so I'll go with the 2. It just came to me for some reason.
Another one of the new ones.
My camera was, or my display was being a little weird, kidder. Sorry.
This could get to be very painful of a project. Okay. Anyway.
Big D knows. He'll know when he knows.
Yeah. And if you know, you know. Whoa.
That was not the whiskey.
That was not the whiskey. And it's surprisingly sour in the middle. Okay. Woo. Yeah, the things I do just for a simple white paint. Anyway, carry on.
In a shocking turn of events, Howard is confused about drinking.
There's a bit of a gamble of like how much, am I going to need different colors? Like, can I be happy enough with the brown that I ended up with when I mixed that green and that orange is a very yellowish brown, which works really well for the underbelly of the tortoise. There it goes. But I kind of want a darker brown for his staff and for his bags. And that means I have to take another shot. And so I'm stalling on doing that.
Is your self-imposed masochism challenge where you just use the colors straight up, or do you give yourself the leeway to mix them?
I do give myself the leeway to mix them.
Okay, so toss a little of that pure black in the mix there. You should be able to get the darker.
Yes, I was planning to do that. The bigger one that I'm going to hit is he's got metal. There's a definite need for metallics because he's got a chain for a belt. He's holding a sickle. The staff has little metal bands around it. So there's a definite need for a couple metallics. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, or just take the shots. So we'll see. We'll see. This is so far I've only had to buy 2 colors, but there will be more.
Just start painting your hand if you have to buy too many more.
I will probably end up painting my hand regardless. It's a common thing amongst people who paint miniatures.
Yeah, and I'm just talking about you won't be like aware of it. You'll think you're still painting that damn turtle.
I have painted miniatures pretty successfully while fairly heavily intoxicated. In fact, I just came across it recently, an old episode where I was trying to end the show. I think I tried like 3 times to end the show. Kidder wouldn't end it, but I was gone, like drink-wise, and having a hard time just holding myself up, and I had a palette of like wet paint in front of me, and my big fear was I was just gonna fall forward into it. So I was begging Kidder to like end the show, do the cheap plugs. He eventually did.
It was the show that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. Some people started talking, not knowing what it was. And they'll continue talking just forever, just because the show that never ends.
Let's see. What else is there, gents, for us to discuss? I got a topic.
How do we get famous?
I mean, that I can't help you.
Damn it.
I, gentlemen, have, since I've been here kind of all by myself, I've been watching some old classic movies. And it's interesting. I this evening while I was eating dinner, I partook of the very old classics. I haven't watched them in like 20 years, but I watched Smokey and the Bandit and Smokey and the Bandit 2. And it's interesting because I have very distinct memories of watching those when I was a kid, like 8 or 10 years old. But I haven't seen them in, like, as I said, 20 something years. And as I was watching them, I realized that it's very clear that the copies that I watched when I was a kid were like ones that my mom had like taped off of like a TV station playthrough, because the language in those was not the type of language I would have said that an 8-year-old should have been watching. I was kind of like, I don't remember it being quite this foul-mouthed. Not that it is like incredibly foul, but it's more than I remember. So, but interesting to say, I will add, Smokey and the Bandit was really good for like really kind of touching into a culture and such. And while it had its funny moments, it wasn't straight comedy, where Smokey and the Bandit 2, they just clearly played for as many laughs as possible. Like, they try the comedy bit so hard in that, and it's just, I don't know, doesn't play real well. But that's my viewing after 20 some years.
You turned out mostly okay, so it's all right.
I mean, it's not like the worst film ever, but there's a clear bit where it's like, some of these jokes are just not that great.
Too timely, and they didn't age well.
Well, and there are things that I would say, like, I mean, there's definitely things that you couldn't say nowadays in some of it. But I think the bigger thing for me was that it's like there was a seriousness to the first one, even though it's a comedy. Like, really, when you look at what their job was, right? Go to Texas, bring a bunch of Coors beer back to Georgia, and do it in a certain amount of time. And there they're running about breaking the law. They're bootlegging, and they have to speed in order to get it. But it's a serious thing, something that could actually happen. The second movie, and I'm sorry if there are spoilers, but the movie is colder than hell.
No way!
But the second one is about them basically transporting an elephant over 9 days, the same amount of distance that they did in, well, a little bit longer, because instead of going to Georgia, they go all the way to Miami. But instead of doing it in 28 hours, they have 9 days to haul an elephant from Miami to Texas.
Load them up and truck them.
And it's just like, it didn't have the, like, in the first movie, they're constantly checking their time and will they make it? And, it's down to the wire. And in the second one, there's just not that, like, pressure. They spend actually, like, the first 5 days just apparently getting Burt Reynolds back into shape so that he can make the run. And it's just like, you're playing this far more for laughs than kind of the kind of more realistic tone that they had in the first one. Also, I would argue that the paint job on the semi was much better in the first one than the second, but that's just my take. So, but I'm planning to watch some more classic old movies. I think tomorrow I'm going to watch Jaws and Jaws 3, since, hey, it's the 50th anniversary of Jaws.
Office Space.
I don't know if it's the shots getting to me, but I don't understand that transition.
You're talking about classic movies. I mean, that's a 20-year-old movie now, so.
Not going to lie, and I know people are going to be like, oh, about it, but I didn't really care for Office Space. I didn't think it was that great of a movie. I think the stapler bit gets, like, overquoted way too much.
I was told that I could listen to music at an appropriate volume and have my radio on, and they told me to turn my radio off, and I feel that was not appropriate.
Case in point. I don't know. Are there classic movies that you guys go back to see and you're like, this is not as good as I remember it being?
Star Wars.
Or something. And I have to throw in what I just had it. Not that I think it's not as good as I used to, but Baseballs. I enjoy it. I still enjoy it, but looking back, some of the humor that I laughed at as, the 10-year-old who probably shouldn't have been watching in the first place, seems a little juvenile, but I can still appreciate that. Apparently, there's, if I remember correctly, there's production for Spaceballs 2 after all these years, and Mel Brooks and his 99-year-old self is reprising his role as Yogurt. I'm looking forward to seeing it, just because of how ridiculous it is probably going to be.
I don't know. I'm not as excited about seeing it. I liked Spaceballs. I think comedy has changed, and the things that you can get away with comedy have changed. And I fear that they're not going to be able to capture the true like spirit of Spaceballs with it. That's my general take. I think they'll either, you just don't see comedies like that. They tend to get to be a little bit more kind of raunchy with their jokes, or I don't know. I don't see a lot of really smart comedies these days. I don't know. Maybe that's just the pessimistic side of me, but and truthfully, I'm okay with some things being left alone. So, I'm kind of tired of everything coming back as a sequel. Kind of like the Naked Gun is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually watched an interview with the creator of Naked Gun, and he's very upset about it because they didn't even ask him if he wanted to make another one. They just went to Seth MacFarlane, and they're making this, and he's kind of like, well, the way you're doing this character, it goes against certain principles that we set for, our character, our main character. And it was interesting to kind of hear, and to hear that he actually had written a fourth Naked Gun movie that wasn't a police detective story. It was more of spoofing the James Bond films that we all grew up with and loved. And apparently it was hilarious. He had met with studio execs and they thought it was funny, and then they just never called him back. And that's why we haven't gotten that. And so, as he put it, he's like, nothing against Seth MacFarlane. It's just, he's like, it's a little insulting, though, that you took kind of our series that we wrote and ran with, and you didn't even give us a chance to make a new movie.
Sorry, I disappeared for a minute. I had purchased many years ago the collector's edition of Office Space, and it came with a red swing line stapler, notebook, and the movie, and a couple other things. Also, I think it had 8 pieces of flair in there in a lanyard, and then the box that it came in looked like a file cabinet, and you would pull the front out of the cabinet, to get the stuff inside of it. It is not on my shelf, and so I think it is in my reserve shelf elsewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just I never got into Office Space. That's just not one of my movies.
Have you seen Super Troopers?
Way too damn much.
I want to check it out again. You forget the comedy gold that's in there.
To me, there is one good bit in Super Troopers, and that's it. The rest of it I can't stand. And you probably know the bit that I think is great.
Who wants a mustache ride?
No. Not that one. Not that one. It has more to do with shenanigans.
I cannot afford another ticket in my Porsche. Is there something that I can do for you to get out of the ticket? Or something that my wife can do for you?
Before Kidder quotes this whole movie, I feel it important to say, Kidder! We've been talking for quite a while. It's time that we wrap this episode up with some cheap plugs.
Mother of God. Okay, like, share, subscribe, Facebook, Instagram, We're everywhere. YouTube, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, Pandora, again, Spotify, all of the keywords, hashtag, get this, love it, live it, share it, do the thing, buy the merch, give us money, please, thanks. We appreciate it. Let's move on to final thoughts. Who wants to go first? Howard, you got a final thought?
Final thought is I didn't realize this until I started looking at reference photos, but most tortoises not green. They're kind of varying shades of yellow, so I might be okay. Although this particular tortoise has moss on its back, so I will need a green, but I may not be as in rough of shape as I thought I was. And I don't know why that's my final thought, but that's my final thought. I'm going to blame the fact that I'm 3 shots in, 2 shots in. Who's keeping track? The local keys. Anyway, enough of me rambling. I'm going to keep painting and yeah.
It's quite the thought. All right, Big D, you're next. I'm sorry. You're next. That's what I meant.
Jeez. The only one that's just popped in my head right now is an old adage I heard about how you fly a plane. To go up, pull the yoke. To go down, pull the yoke harder.
Cool. Living it up to get down, gonna get up to get down. Right. Or perhaps loving an elevator, living it up while you're going down. All right.
Interesting.
Doc must be getting hit by the Long Island right now because he's either got a little bit of a seizure going on or he's just disgusted by Aerosmith.
I was going to say my final thought was going to be it's important not to give you the opportunity to rattle off a whole list of song titles and have that count as conversation.
My radio DJ tricks.
Exactly.
Well, I suppose before we start quoting things like the end or having an overture, like 2112 overture, or good riddance with the parentheses of time of your life, let's get out of here. So big thanks to Doc, for Big D, and for Howard Blues getting high on paint fumes. I'm still Mark Kidder. Thanks for being here for this and every episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. Remember, keep your glass at least half full. There's free beer tomorrow, and we will catch you on down that song-filled / song-ridden Tuscan Highway. Have a great night, day, morning, evening, and everywhere and everything in between. We'll see you on the next episode of Beer, Blues, and BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
The majority of the past 2 weeks, the temperatures have gotten 117, 118 degrees, which by itself, if it's dry, is not too horrible. But combine that with the majority of that time, dew points are above 75. We did hit a dew point of 86. You step outside, it's instant swamp ass. Yeah.
That would be pretty miserable. Pretty miserable.
Yeah. Might be making me a little bit delirious too, because at one point within the past couple of days, I started fiddling around with AI, going on this whole swamp ass theme. Fiddled around with AI to make an artistic rendering, which may or may not have turned out more realistic than I was expecting. Not in a suggestive way, just realism for realism's sake. Of Billy Gunn's head on Swamp Thing's body. So, I made a rendering of Mr. Swamp Ass. Speaking of which, here's Kidder.
Who looks so happy to be here?
I was thinking, what the hell is he talking about?
Nope. Just feeling lucky that I'm actually here.
I'm glad you're here. I was a little worried. I mean, I know JS is at the lake. Local geek had to cancel last minute. It's like, man, there's going to be like nobody here. So,
yeah, nobody. He's over there across the sea.
Let's see here. I'm going to share my little artistic rendering.
Oh, you should have saved it and put it on the show, man. Because we display AI slop like that all the time.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, hey, this could work for behind the curtain.
It could.
So yeah, there's my AI slop artistic rendering of Mr. Ass on the Swamp Thing, Mr. Swamp Ass, because that's exactly who I am the minute I walk out my door, because it is hot here.
I'm gonna need you to send me that art, and
Okay.
I will probably work that into I will work that into the thumbnail. Maybe because if I use the little bit of conversation from the beginning of the show and this, now I have a reason to call a show "Welcome, Mr. Swamp Ass."
Yeah, I just sent it to you in the Facebook.
Perfect.